We just got to Sam Flannel's list. We're going to get to my list because you didn't see it. Yeah, you didn't see it yet. Luke is still on my list.
Okay, are we good now? Are we good?
Yeah, we good. We good. Throw it up there, baby. Okay, there's my top 5 most important games. And there you have it. Week 1 at the Chiefs. I don't give a damn who it is. Week 1, you're playing the Super Bowl champs. You talk about important games. This right here, week 1, sets the tone. You beat the Chiefs. It changes everybody's narrative. Now, if you lose, to Sam's point, you won't be murdered for it. But talk about a game that could swing a season.
So much to gain.
So much to gain.
Really nothing to lose.
And really not too much to lose. You go out there and you spoil the Super Bowl champs. Their night. They get the ring. They get the ring they deserve. And the Lions come in pissed off and steal a win in Kansas City. Now that is an important game.
Travis Kelce will pass the sword that game to Sam Laporta.
Okay. Well, there you lose me. But the next game I have here is week 4 at the Packers, and I'll tell you why. Okay? You face Atlanta on Sunday. Short week. 4 days later, you play the Packers on the road. First game against the Packers. You gotta win. You gotta win. It's Jordan Love's debut against the Detroit Lions. You swept them last year against Aaron Rodgers. How last season ended at Lambeau leaves a bad taste in all those Packers players' mouths. It's your turn to get revenge. You go back and you solidify it. No, bitch! We were supposed to win that game. Here's another round.
This is the game, Jefferson.
It is.
You left off Seattle, but you make up with it for this one.
Yes, because the reason why I left off Seattle is because I got the Chiefs. I didn't want to make the first 2 games the most important games of the season, but I chose the Chiefs. Sam's got a great point about it being, it's the first home game. If you lose to the Kansas City Chiefs, it is an important game. But I'm going a step before that. I'm going to Chiefs. You got to swing at Goliath, even if you're David here. And I think the Lions have a good chance to do it.
A biblical verse.
Week 17 against the Cowboys. Now, I got a little different, and I like this comment here. Corey Berry says, Jeff has a primetime theme to it, and that's different from Sam. I took the big games, right? And you look at the opponents, besides the Chiefs, all NFC. Right? The Cowboys are a team that we may face, the Detroit Lions may face in the playoffs. And look at what happened last year. They smacked you around at Dallas. Now, it was close into the fourth quarter and you completely melted down, but you need to show the Cowboys that things are different. We're not going to melt down in the fourth quarter. Dak Prescott, Dakota Rain Prescott.
Ew.
We're going to hand you this L served up hot for you. That's what we're going to do. And that's why I think the Lions going to Dallas. And again, you look at it, it's week 17. It's really 2 games before the season's over. But look at the 4 game stretch to end the season. Versus Denver. They face Denver. At Minnesota. At Dallas. You face Minnesota again. Those 4 games, although Minnesota I don't think will be great, those are important games to end the season.
Any rival, or not rivalry game, but any division game, it's going to be closer than what it should be most of the time.
Absolutely. And then you take on Dallas. I think Dallas is a super, super important game. Now, let's go to the next one. Week 13 against the Saints. Another team that you could face in the playoffs. You travel to New Orleans. New Orleans has all the hype. They got Derek Carr. Lucas's boyfriend. He got all the guys.
10 days out of 10. That's for damn sure.
They got Derek Carr. Dennis Allen, don't know if he's a good coach, but the Saints are expected to win their division, make some noise, be in the playoffs. Travel over there week 13 and whoop some ass. How about that? Important. That'll set the tone.
What's up.
And show Jamal what's up. That's a great point. Jamal Williams now a new addition running back for the New Orleans Saints. I think the Saints are an important game because, again, look at the road games I got, guys. All road games.
That's true.
Wow.
It's very true.
All road games. Why is that? Because the Lions, until the second half of last season, have not proven consistently they can win on the road. This is the year to do it. Go get some road games. We know how good they are at home. Right, they're a very good team at home, but on the road, there's a little bit of different performance from the Detroit Lions. They got to prove it this year. You got to go out. You got to win on the road. Put up the list. Last game for me. Week 16 against the Vikings. Now, I'll tell you why, and Sam nailed it last segment talking about the Vikings. That game was yours to win last season. It was yours to win. Juju Hughes, Amani Warrior, Aubrey Pleasant, Dan Campbell, Michael Badgley. You could throw the blame everywhere, but the matter of the fact is you lost. You lost at Minnesota, and this is your chance to redeem yourself this upcoming season. You play them at the end of the season, too, because you got to think. You play Minnesota week 16. You're there on the road. Then you go to Dallas. Then you play Minnesota again. So we think that to close the season, they could take down Minnesota at home.
You'd hope.
Go beat them on the road because it'll make things a little more easier to digest. Like, oh, if we lose this home game, now you got to win the home game to end the season. You don't want to be swept by the Vikings. So go beat them on the road and then go sweep them at home to end the season. Those are my top 5 most important games, no order. These are the games that I feel can make a statement for the Detroit Lions. You know, you beat the Kansas City Chiefs. What a statement that'll do, right? You beat the Dallas Cowboys on the road. What another statement. You take down the Packers on the road on a short week against Jordan Love, the new quarterback. Many people don't know what he could be or what he is now. Go make a statement. The Saints, a team that we expect to be in the playoffs. You could face them in the playoffs. Go make a statement. On the road to Minnesota, redeem yourself from last season. Those are my top 5 most important games. Thoughts on that?
Well, so we had a couple in common with the at Green Bay and at Minnesota, and I think we both echoed how important those games are. I mean, just in terms for playing on the road at your divisional opponents and just for basically taking the division and saying this is ours to win and leaving no doubt. But one thing that I will say about Kansas City, and I'm not downplaying the importance of it. You guys actually hit it on the head. It is a high upside win, I will say that, because if the Lions go into Kansas City and somehow win that game, I think we're all going to be talking about Super Bowl. I think we all might do the show basically in the nude the next day, just with
I'm be drunk.
Hey, drunk coming off a bender,
there'll
all
be
of that.
tequila shots happening 8 o'clock on the dot that Friday morning.
Yes.
There won't be a sober Lucas at all.
Well, and it
Smoke weed every day.
absolutely.
That after. Maybe
Thank
even
you, Nate
before,
Dogg.
JB. Maybe we'll get that. Maybe me and you can have some fun out back before the show starts, and we'll start dipping in tequila on the air.
Hey, when all else fails, listen to Nate Dogg, right? But go ahead.
I want to just say this too. Ashton, the trainers in the chat, shout out to him. Big friend of the show, big friend of the network, my good friend as well. And he's a big Cowboys fan, as always. Him, obviously, Kate, all those guys. Texas, born in Texas, so they're going to be Cowboys fans. But I'll tell you this, Ashton. We're coming for that ass this year. We're coming to take down the Cowboys. Pause. But we're coming after the Cowboys. I'm telling you one thing right now. We can't lose. You can't lose to the Cowboys. You can't.
My Lions,
Do you have the Dak Prescott clip?
I have them queued up for 9:40, but I'll happily play this now.
Play the clip.
I got 2 of them.
This is Ashton. This is your quarterback. Is this? Can you confirm this? I'm just trying to confirm it. There's a video that at training camp, Dak was already in midseason form.
Look at this dog. Where's he going? And then after, here's more.
Hey.
This is after this. Trayvon Diggs and him got into it.
He got into it.
Trayvon Diggs said, "Shut your bitch ass up" to Dak, and then Dak threw the ball at him.
Ashton.
That's who leading the Cowboys to a Super Bowl? No. You got Jalen Hurts in your division to get through first. I would put Cowboys, just for me personally, they would have been my number 1 game because it's my least favorite franchise in the NFL. They're probably the Lions' biggest competition as far as like. You got the Eagles and Niners that you compare. I think that next level in the NFC this year is going to be the Cowboys and Lions. So I think that shows a lot. It shows what the Lions are built of.
Yes.
You go in there, you smack Dak around, you let Panay put Micah in a phone booth again, as Neil Rule loves to say. I'm a big Micah Parsons guy. But
to Ashton's point about being excited for the Cowboys, and there's people that have the Cowboys winning that NFC East this year.
They do every year. It's the Cowboys, man.
And the fact behind that is a new team has won the NFC East every single year, typically. So maybe it's the Cowboy season. But Ashton, we got to beat y'all, man. We got to beat y'all on the road.
It's happening.
You whooped our ass last year due to some the team breaking down in the fourth quarter. But regardless, we're coming, and they got to win on the road, and that's a big part of it. But also, you beat the Cowboys this season. People start, okay, the Lions are they take down the Cowboys. They beat, let's just say hypothetically, they beat the Chiefs. Like, now the Lions are in a different tier, and people are going to put more respect on them.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's different talking about it, but when they actually go out and show it, that's another thing.
I mean, I think there's a chance that the Cowboys game at the end of the year, except if it means anything for seeding, could be meaningless when it comes to the division. But seeding could be everything in the NFC.
That's what I think it'll be one of those games where it's like, are the Lions going to be a 3 seed, 4 seed, 5 seed? Same thing with the Cowboys.
Right, and the Cowboys, I don't think they will win the division, so I don't think they will ultimately be fighting for seeding with the Cowboys, but there's other teams around like the Niners and the Eagles or maybe even the Saints or something like that, who the Lions might have to battle for seeding for. But I'll tell you what, Lucas, with that video of Dak Prescott, I was told, you know what I was told yesterday? I'm about to make a lot of people mad. I was told that if you drop a couple passes in practice and get into a skirmish, it means nothing. It's just practice, only when it's Jameson Williams. So when Dak Prescott makes a bad interception in practice, oh my God, he sucks. He's the worst quarterback of all
out
time.
Here saying I'm only going to have 10 drops this year.
Or 10 picks.
And I'm not the most highest paid player on the team, which Dak is. He's the reason they can't go out and re-sign Zach Martin right now, even though he's a mid quarterback, just like Kirk Cousins. If you're going to go out there and talk more than Kirk Cousins, you better play better than him, and he hasn't so far. And if there's going to be footage of you after you saying, yeah, I'm not throwing 10, and then you throw into double coverage and you don't even make it to the receiver and the safety comes over and it's not even like a catchable ball, excuse me.
Do I need
to? It's disgusting.
You know what, Lucas? And I get it. Dak Prescott had a bad year last year. Leading the NFL in interceptions despite missing 5 starts is abhorrent. But do I need...
Whoa. It is what?
Abhorrent. That's a word. Look it up.
JB, Google it.
Can you use it? What's the definition of this?
It's just like something. It's terrible, but worse.
Okay.
It's just horrible.
Inspiring disgust and loathing, repugnant.
Thank you, bro.
And right, isn't 15 interceptions in 12 games? That is abhorrent by definition.
Especially when you got CeeDee Lamb, Tony Pollard, Dalton Schultz was having a nice year, and now you're going to lose Kellen Moore, and they got Brandon Cooks, but you still got Dak Prescott, and they don't have Zeke anymore, who they're feeding the ball just because they had to feed him, so that's going to put it in Dak's arm more. They have Tony Pollard as the RB1, so they're going to be passing the ball more regardless. There's going to be more turnovers for Dak, yeah, 100%.
All right, that's fine, but do I really need to invoke Allen Iverson here? Do I really need to say we talking about practice?
Dak needs more of it. He needs a lot more practice, and if he keeps practicing like this, he's throwing more than 10 picks, and the Lions are winning. That's all we know, and I know Dak's mid. Everybody knows that he's just going to go out there and prove it again.
I mean, all I'm saying is when Saint J-Mo does anything wrong, you guys are just like, oh my God, how can you say anything wrong about J-Mo? And it was just practice, and that's all well and good. I just want the same energy for Dak Prescott.
No.
Dak Prescott is an easy target. You guys all think that he's the worst quarterback ever. He had 37 touchdowns and 10 picks in 2021.
He's the most mid quarterback ever. Definition of it.
I do think there's a part of it, and I don't want to say that Dak is trash, but there's a part of it that, being on America's team, Dak Prescott, I do think there's a part of it that he's overrated.
It's
just
like
is
I
what
hate
it
the
is.
human he is, but I cannot stand the football player.
Great human being.
Yeah.
And he's had some good seasons, but I just think there's a little bit of that overrating part of it where it's like the Dallas Cowboys, with Dak's tenure, with him being there, they've had a lot of seasons where they've won double-digit games, but they just fall short. They fall short. And
Every
hopefully,
time.
you know what, for Ashton, hey, Ashton, I'm rooting for you. Hopefully, you guys make it far enough just to face the Lions and then you take an L. But regardless, maybe they can bounce back. Maybe Dak's right. Maybe he won't throw over 10 interceptions this season.
I mean, I think Dak is going to have a fine year. I'm not saying that he's going to be MVP or anything like that. I'm just saying that I think last year was more of an anomaly than I think people give him credit for.
And we shall see.
There's nothing about his tenure as a Cowboys quarterback that shows he's a turnover machine, except for last season.
And I love this comment. Chuck says, Jeff, if Dak played in Minnesota, how was he looked at differently?
I think he literally would be the exact same thing.
Well, he's saying, talked about. Because he plays for the Cowboys, I do think there's a little bit of it where
there's more talk
like
there,
Minnesota,
but there's
it
also
would just
more
be
people
like,
who love him because he's there.
It would be kind of like the Kirk narrative. Like, oh, yeah, he's good. He's playing out in Minnesota, but he wouldn't get all the love he gets or be talked about as much because he's in Dallas.
Maybe, but still, it's the exact same quarterback.
Yeah. It is what it is. We shall see. But those are my top 5 most important games. Sam went through his. Man, I cannot wait. Football. This is the first week now. We're going to be with football till February and the NFL till February. So I can't wait for that. But those are my top 5 games. This was fun.